Entire life, you've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. Why never do it again? Because it got old.
We are live.
We are live.
We are live.
Did I say welcome to the main event? Run that thing, grandmother, you mad?
Oh, man.
Behave before you talk about what I'm talking about, yeah?
Disclaimer.
Run that thing back. Nah, man, stay there in your corner, man. Run that thing back, fam. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
We are live. I'm saying Mr. Blitz Tech.
Breaking the GS.
Joe one further to Cyber Nerds.
And welcome to Loki, episode 2, spoiler review. That's right, we're going to talk about everything in this episode. We're going to deep dive into the mental of this madman. And if you just want to watch it with us, there's only one place to do that, over on patreon.com/cybernerds. And enjoy the show. Not going to enjoy it right. Well, no, I am. We're about to break down if we're not. Fan, theories, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, episode... What's quite bad? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot, etc., etc., etc. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, interesting episode. Still very... How can I explain it? I can say that fairy-based. Like, it feels like they always go into the mental of everything.
Very theory-based.
Fairy-based. What did I say?
I thought you said fairy.
Oh, no, okay, no.
Okay.
Yeah, fairy-based. Yeah,
So now you start to sound like me
mad too.
with words.
Still learning English, you see. Still learning English.
It's a
But
madness. It's a madness.
guys, yeah, what do you think of the episode? What are we saying?
I think that what they're starting to do with Loki now is to prove what comes with being the God of Mischief, innit? Usually, like, the first thing I, like, kind of put my mind into is, like, yo, like, usually mischief, you're just causing the mischief. But for you to always, I guess, causing that sort of behavior, you also got to have a certain frame of mind. Do you know what I mean? And that comes with intelligence, which is something that may have gone over our heads because it's just Loki, and we kind of like may focus on just the actions that what he does. Do you know what I mean? Like, usually it's like, oh, like, it kind of took me back to Thor always falling for him.
Mm.
And at some point, like, there were times man would question, I was like, Thor, like, you that dumb?
He is, though.
But we never questioned how smart Loki is.
Because he was always doing it to Thor.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah.
do you know? So, but it's those two is ways of looking at something. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get at. And over here, I get the feeling where it's just like, okay, we're gonna explore his level of intelligence, the way he articulates things, the way he sees things. Do you know what I mean? And this is where what's my man Mobius at the beginning was like, yo, there's something about this guy. Let me take him to now be part of this thing. And so I think it's really interesting to take on the way to look at Loki's thinking.
See, now I feel like this is like, yeah, that's what they're doing. We're taking a deep dive into Loki's intelligence, but I feel like it's more of Loki now in this series has more power than he has ever had in the MCU. Like, before, he was like working for Thanos. Man was pretty much an underling, so it's like his intelligence only took him to a level where his intelligence couldn't get him past because he doesn't have the power to get past that level. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if he was smarter than Thanos, which he wasn't, he would never be able to get past him because he doesn't have the actual tools and abilities and powers to overthrow him. Here at the TVA, I take it back to the first episode when he had the moment, he was like, this is the greatest power in the universe. Then we're skipping, because it's 6 episodes, this episode starts with, we went through the trials and tribulations of getting man into a suit. He's understood it's the power of, he's got a plan. He wants to take over the TVA. He made a plan, now he's with them, man. But now he's got more power, so I feel like his intelligence buys him more stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? But I don't feel like he's way more intelligent than we've seen him. It's just that he's got a bigger playground, and he's got people around him that maybe not as smart as him, and they're also going up against himself. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like Loki against Loki, but then obviously we don't know what the other variant Loki has gone through because she seems to be ahead of everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, differently, like,
Yeah, she's been ahead.
he's working out what she's doing, but she already knows what he's gonna do, and she's already preempted that, plus preempted the TVA, which is mad because it's like, raw. If the TVA never got this Loki, they wouldn't even caught up to her at that point, and this plan would have been even madder. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they only got there because he worked that out. But then I feel like because she's him and he's her, she knows. Do you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean she knows?
So basically, yeah, they only found her because they have Loki.
Yes.
She knows how he works, the same way he knows how she works. That's how they found her.
Yeah.
But she knows that. So she would know that them having Loki would bring them to this point for her to do this.
So she was
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. She is so far ahead of the game, and it's like, raw, that's mad. But like, where is that information for her coming from?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when did she get educated on the TVA to be able to do this? That then makes me think that her and Loki are the same Loki. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because at some point she must have, like, she has to have been getting educated. Do you know what I'm saying? And what if this is like part of the issue with the whole thing? They bring, like, Loki jumps ship, they get Loki helps them, Loki runs off with her, they go through some truths, this thing happens. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bit, me personally, I just got bare questions, bro.
And do you reckon that's why they can't? Because they would kind of explain, like, oh, why can't you just go back in time and redo this thing? And it's like, no, you got to be at the present time. So by what you've just said, because Loki, by the end of the episode, Loki busts his case with her.
Yeah.
So that did they kind of like then explained what you've just explained?
Well, all they was explaining is that you can't
just go back and
you can't Avengers it,
yeah.
bruv. You know what I'm saying? You can't go back in time
have to deal
and
with
fix
presence.
it before it happens.
Unless that was written. Which they
Unless that happens on the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
Yes. Unless exactly.
But then this makes me believe that there is a sacred time. This comes back to the conversation we was listening to. There's a sacred timeline that they believe in, but she must come from a timeline that she's from that someone else believes in.
Bang. This is the thing here, bruv. It's like like in this episode, it raises the question on the three lizards. I was already questioning these, man, from the first episode, thinking like, raw, like, because like the TV are so propaganda heavy, yeah, it's like, well, what, like, why would you need this much propaganda if this thing was 30? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
so to me, that means it's not 30.
No,
then I'm like,
exactly.
raw, so what if the timekeepers are just
over here,
just some three brothers who were like, okay,
Yeah.
we're doing this timeline.
Thank you.
But there's another three brothers who are like, we're
Over
doing
here.
this timeline.
Thank you.
That would make
Yeah.
the other Loki not a variant, a prime Loki. It would make our Loki a prime Loki as well.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm saying? And they said Lokis are one of the variants that we get rid of the most. Probably because all these Lokis are on the same thing. At some point in time, on their timeline, they're jumping ship and this is happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not, like, that sounds like Loki is the biggest problem in the multiverse. And I'm not trying to make him that.
I
but
mean, if
this
it's
is
the
just
God of
where,
Mischief,
I'm just saying,
that
this
would...
is, it, no, that does
and
make
they say
sense.
this
But
is
that's,
to drive some chaos.
yeah, that's just where my mind goes with all of this stuff. So yeah, it's actually mad.
It's super mad. It's super mad, like, where they go with this thing.
And even that, bruv, that would then validate the whole, how comes the Avengers can mess with the timeline, but Loki can't. And it would explain it because that's what them man want.
Yeah,
that's just what them man wanted to happen.
It's on their timeline.
You get me? So it's actually mad, bruv.
Because for me, if there's separate timelines, she wants that one erased for whatever reason. Like, she has a completely different pattern. Like, he was breaking down his power sets, like, before they even went out. How he does an illusion, how it's different to a, like, almost clone manipulation, different, like, kind of molecules and all that kind of stuff. But she is out here able to almost phase into other people while still being somewhere else. We've never seen that from Loki. So it's very interesting how he doesn't know about that power set or that kind of set of magic. But yeah, she's out here like doing a whole different thing. So it does lead me to believe that there are different places in time that these guys only believe in the sacred one, but she's creating that one now as a nexus. So does that make her timeline now that sacred one? Like,
with the magic thing, I'm like, I just think wherever you're from or whatever variant you are, wherever timeline you're from, because you're a different person, you might just use powers differently. Like when Loki and her meet in the supermarket, he like clowns her for using that, saying, oh, it's kind of cheap, it's kind of weak. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's like, that's just probably the kind of move she does. She probably never does that dumb trick Loki does, where she turns into 7 of them. And do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, she probably, when he does that, she'll probably be like, what is this kids thing? Do you know what I'm saying? So I love that they bring that up and the differences in between them and how Loki breaks down the magic and all of that.
Okay. I was going to say, all this, for me, is always come back down to that conversation that they had in the cafeteria where they were like, it's all down to
what you believe
in.
And for me, that whole conversation
was mad.
I didn't expect this from Loki, you know. Out of everything, even just Marvel, just Disney, I wasn't expecting that conversation where it's like, man was like, okay, where are you from? Frost Giants. Alright, so about who raised you? Odin. It's like, but who's before him? Man was trying to break it down, but it's like, but you literally only been told this kind of stuff, or only if you see something, then you're like, okay, that's when I know that's kind of true. But you don't actually know origin of anything.
You're only accepting
your reality,
things from your experience,
yeah.
and you're shooing off anything else which has exactly the same logic and exactly the same amount of evidence or lack of evidence that their thing has. So yeah, you're all finished. Do you know what I'm saying?
And coming to about finishing, yeah, Loki then asked him, when does it end? And he doesn't even know, but his belief is like almost like a heaven where there's no longer any other chaos, now it's order. But he doesn't know that.
See, wait, you're talking about Mobius?
Yeah,
Mobius.
That's mad.
Mobius is saying like heaven, almost. Well, Mobius is saying it's like a time loop. Because obviously present and past is all happening, and all that they're doing is making sure it stays on the right path. And at some point,
when it was said and done,
everything will be perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is mad, because he was the same person who said that this thing comes from chaos, and then obviously Vision said chaos and order.
It's
one of the same. But do you know what I'm saying?
Was nuts.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that whole thing was mad.
That whole conversation is sick.
Yeah, for me, basically, they're both. I just think they're both wrong and they're both right.
And that's what Loki said, where it's like almost like children. There was no right, wrong, right.
Yeah, fam. So,
and that's based on your moral compass. Like some villains will never see themselves as the villain, and heroes will never see. Villains never see themselves.
Villains will never see themselves as villains, and heroes will never see themselves as villains. Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? But you're both villains to the opposite person.
That's it. Like Thanos being out here trying to snap half the universe, saying you guys are just overcompassing everything. There's not enough for everybody. I'm gonna make sure there is, and just half everything. We saw it. Everything was prospering. So when you see Endgame on Thanos' side, where man did a right thing, he's now just becoming a farmer, living his life. They come down to man's planet,
assassinate,
and just kill man. Does that make them heroic?
Bruv.
Like, who are they saving when the saving has already been done, bruv? Who are they saving? Like, what did they achieve by doing that? Man's already done his job. He's relaxing. He's sitting back. My job is done. And they came back and just murdered man.
It's so mad to me when you have this conversation with people who are like, no, the Avengers did the right thing, and I'm just like, bro, like, you're tapped. There's the end of the conversation. But I mean, bringing it back to it's just interesting to see where this is going. And I was shocked at the end where basically bang, the bomb goes off and the Nexus, or not the Nexus, the multiverse madness is about to start. But then obviously came back to my mind that it's only 6 episodes, so it's like
it's gotta be that fast.
Yeah, it's not actually gonna be a Lele thing. And then that actually made me happy that they skipped out that episode in between 1 and 2 where man decides, it goes through the training process, watches a couple videos and stuff like that.
You see, with that event right at the end, that's got me thinking of that has triggered the other events that we're about to watch. Like I'm specifically thinking of Doctor Strange. Do you know what I mean? Because, bruv,
we knew this.
The guy that was, bruv, he didn't know what, but he's trying to go through the code, like the book code. Next guy stick the phone off him, like he's just spazzing out. I don't know. I think I really think they're using now Loki as a catalyst to just open up bare doors for Marvels, like places, like they even mentioned Krakoan.
Mm.
Bruv, that's X-Men's area. That's what's his name? What's the most powerful being? One of the there's sets, power sets,
Like Omega.
Alphas, all of that. That's them lot. That's X-Men. So like, whoa, like, so when I heard that, I was like, wait, I now have to go and do a bit of research on that, because if that's the case, then like we're there now. Do you know what I mean? It's been said here. So I have to watch the next two, like these 2 episodes back to back, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of information over there that's gone over my head, and like just putting pieces together. I feel like there's a lot being said here, especially, and there's a lot of dialogue here.
That's what I love about it.
Yo, managed to really peep what's being said and the critical words that's being said to put things together in it. So they even going back to Asgard. For a second, I thought they were going to go they were going to have Ragnarok in this thing. But I also love the fact that they didn't go there and they just used a different events, destructural events that happened. Going to Pompeii. Mad. Do you know what I mean? So it's show is doing bits, but I wonder if a lot of people won't like this because it will go over people's heads. Because there's a lot of dialogue and stuff like that.
I don't know. I felt like the episodes, even though there was lots of good dialogue, I still felt like it was a slow episode.
Yeah, very slow.
It was a slow episode. So I would say that was really the only negative. But it's like, it'd be slow, then they'd give us something, then it'd be slow. So I felt like the pacing could have been better. But then I feel like by the end of the episode, you're kind of satisfied because obviously something big happens at the end. And then when you throw in the other conversations, you're like, they did give us a lot. But I do feel like, maybe not even it will go over some people's heads, but I feel like, yeah, there's just a lot of people going to struggle to understand.
It's a lot of information.
The whole of the thing.
It's a lot of information. Like, they go through a lot of information, bro. So.
I do think that obviously, I mean, we said it on the first review that Loki is going to set up the whole phase 4. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, everything that happens from here, in the multiverse of madness is going to be dealing with the repercussions of this. We know Spider-Man Far From Home is probably going to be dealing with repercussions of this. I just hope we get lots of madness going on, actually. Like, I just want Marvel, they're probably doing it already, but them to use this to, like, spice up the universe. And I'm not even saying, like, going full on, bringing in X-Men, but, like, I want Miles. I've been saying this for time. I want us to swap out Tom. Tom go to the Sonyverse. Let us get a Miles. Like, stuff like that. I want there to be like a real new status quo, like, at the end of this phase. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that would be super legit for me.
Do you know when it's all said and done, like, all these phases, yeah? Do you reckon Loki would be like one of the elders who people kind of like you're an elder, innit? Like, he was with them man from back day, because he's now out of
I hope
that
not.
play.
I hope
Do you know
not.
what I mean? And he was just like,
I hope not. Because in the 6th episode, if I'm writing it, obviously, he goes back, the Tesseract hits his foot, he doesn't pick it up, and you just look in his eyes and you know that he goes on and lives the rest of his life and gets choked out by Thanos, knowing that he's saved.
well,
But he wouldn't want that.
I don't care what he
yeah,
wants.
I don't think that's
I don't care what he
I don't think that's Loki.
Bro,
like.
listen, they're here trying to make
He's like Snake, bruv, like in a way, bruv. Like,
nah,
you know
bro,
what I
he
mean?
was Snape. They're trying to make him Snape now. So that's why the sacrifice, him going back, would make sense. That's the point. Like, he's left that 2012, and they're trying to make him a likable character now. Yeah, a more likable character. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's still got to get his neck snapped.
Yeah, I feel like he'd still be finished, but his overall character, like, they even said as well, that we know you're trying to just take over, bro. Just relax.
Yeah, but he's still got to go back and get his neck snapped. That's my point.
Yeah,
like,
still
so
get finished.
at the end of this, no matter what happens, he's got to go back there and die.
If it's not back there, it's definitely somewhere he didn't foresee to get. He's getting finished. Like, he's
that's the thing. What's mad? It's like, I guess we've got to see what happens in the show, but like, by their rules, he's got to go back. Like, that's got to happen. Because if that don't happen, the whole MCU from Avengers is just finished.
Or
but that
that's
stays on that
different timeline,
that stays
though.
on that timeline.
But that's what I'm saying. So what? Are we shifting to a different timeline?
Yeah,
Well,
I would think so.
But that's what we kind of be talking about this review, like just different who's
No,
writing what.
No. I'm not. Okay,
No.
so Avengers,
So
the
he can jump on
universe we've
whatever
been
he wants.
following. I don't
Mhm.
care about what he's doing. I'm
Mhm.
talking about the sacred timeline that we've currently got. Yeah?
Okay.
For that to stay intact, he has to come back and die
Mm-hmm.
in that moment by Thanos.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if all this madness happens and all of them, there's a Nexus event, multiverse event, and all of these timelines spiral out of control and all affect our sacred timeline, he's still got to die, but then there's bare changes that have then now been made. And now, but they've given us another Loki in that variant, we can still have an active Loki, but he's got to be finished.
But how can he be finished in the same way when that timeline has now been affected by said past?
Because they've got to run that back.
They won't.
Then that's what I'm saying. Then you're just finished. Endgame, all of that Infinity War, all that stuff didn't happen.
Oh,
That's my point.
I hear
You can't then erase phase 1 through 3 to survive to keep him alive.
Bro, it's mad.
So I don't
They
know.
explain that on
Yeah, they
episode
do.
1.
Exactly, but that's the propaganda the TVA has been spinning to us.
Yeah, so
So we
go
don't
on.
know further repercussions past what they don't know. So
They know.
They don't know.
They said there was a multiverse war before.
That's what exactly. But imagine they didn't see it. They read it in books. So imagine it was the people who created the timelines that were the ones being like, "What are you doing? Get out of it, man! I want this to happen." And that's the war.
Yeah. Okay. The war. Fighting over whatever the sacred timeline is. So then you're saying that still nah, bruv. That's just, bruv. Time travel don't work like that.
So that's
bruv.
what I'm saying. So
that would be finished, bruv.
So I'm saying that now that events happen, that's what we are from the Scarlet Witch situation.
Yeah.
That's where Multiverse of Madness happens, where it's like those events have still happened, but now it's going forward and
yes,
the madness is starting.
bruv.
So he's still dead in that timeline.
Yes,
but this Loki here is elsewhere.
He can't be dead in that timeline because he's not there.
That's where
he left. This is the point I'm trying to make. He left. There's never a Loki that was in that timeline because he left.
Okay.
That's why the TVA are after him.
Okay, so that timeline, we don't know what's happened because they've not erased or whatever. This is the Loki that we're watching. That timeline is now completely different, so he doesn't get snapped.
That's my...
So
you can't have that, bro.
So
That writes out phase 1 through 3.
No, because there's the prime timeline that we're still watching. This is another timeline. They're just trying to make this Loki go back and erase. So that timeline kind of happens, and then there's probably another timeline there Lady Loki's from. So there's like all these timelines.
Yeah, bro, we was talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the timeline that us as the viewers forget Marvel now, yeah? Us as the viewers are watching the sacred timeline, we're calling it now, yeah? If he don't come back and get his neck snapped, our timeline's finished.
Yeah,
that timeline is now different.
Because he
cut. Even if we then go to a different timeline, that's fine. But our timeline, for me, is finished. That timeline's done, bruv. That is done. That is the whole point. Cap had to go back and put all the stones. And for me, no, that's not good. I need this. I need to stay with my timeline. Where he comes back and gets finished.
The way I'm looking at it is as a comic book. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm not against the spin-offs and all that.
No, it's not even the spin-off, really. The way I'm looking at it is like, yo, this comic book run is this timeline. Once it's done, look, X-Man is over here, and this character is there as well. Like, bro, it's so mad. It's so mad. Like, and like I said, bro, man needs to really study this thing because it's a whole different.
That's what I was gonna say. Talking about studying, and underlining terms. Like these men, I really do believe they don't believe in change because he went to the receptionist desk and that bell, bro.
It's been there since 08, fam.
Thank you. So that goes back to the whole core of the whole thing.
Yeah, but these lot have been in their positions their whole life.
Exactly.
Their whole life. And even he was asking, yo, have you been there? It's like, no, I can't be there. But I just love the idea of men simplifying things. He's just stuck with a magazine, bruv.
Exactly. Right, yes, it's actually pretty mad. I love it because it's challenging a lot of thoughts. I guess people should watch this and be like, more forward thinking. But there's some people that won't.
It's definitely challenging like thoughts because like within the first episode, I was having a conversation. Someone was like, "Yo, like these men are questioning existence now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? And the fact that that was a conversation based on the first episode,
Mm.
and now on the second episode, these two are sitting in the cafeteria discussing beliefs and whether you have
Free
power
will.
of will or whatever.
Woo! That leads you to believe it. If you ask someone what is the purpose of life, you think you even know the answer to that?
No, they'll give you their purpose and what they believe in.
Because for me, I always feel like the purpose of life is survival of your legacy, innit?
That's what you believe. That's what you believe, and you'll fight for that.
Exactly.
And when you're said and when you're
Done.
gone from here,
That
we'll see
little spiral.
if you succeeded or not.
It's all mad,
If
bro.
you 50% of it, 80% of it, 100% completion. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
I love
bruv,
it,
it's a journey, innit? Like, so, but I just really love the conversation they had because that's the kind of stuff that we actually speak amongst ourselves.
Mm.
So the fact that man's had this conversation time ago, and now we're sitting here and these men are just peppering it up, bruv. Love it. Love it.
It's good to see. Guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think of this episode number 2. Is it going over your head? Are you just enjoying the conversations? Are you enjoying the reveals? Are you enjoying the timelines, Nexus, sacred timelines, all the things there? Let us know. See you on the next review. I'm saying Mr. Blitztech.
Revenue GS.
Joe on Further the Cyber Nerds, full episode reaction, patreon.com/cybernerds.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
I